Episode 2 of The Night Agent Season 2 begins with a flashback to 9 months ago. We see Peter in Germany, where he has just finished his processing. Here he meets Catherine, who he initially believes is his handler. However, it turns out that Catherine is actually his case officer. She briefs Peter about his next mission in Thailand. The mission is about finding a leak in Bangkok, but it's a delicate operation. They have to proceed carefully so they don't scare off the traitor they're trying to catch. Peter is eager to get started, but Catherine seems unsure about whether Peter is ready for fieldwork. Despite her hesitation, Peter is determined to prove himself capable. Catherine introduces Peter to Alice, who is his new boss. From the start, Alice makes it clear that Peter needs to let go of his past relationships, especially with Rose. According to Alice, personal connections are dangerous in their line of work. Peter eventually decides to follow Alice's advice and chooses not to contact Rose again. He even switches his phone to make sure there's no way she can reach him. The story then returns to the present, picking up from the last episode where Peter and Rose are on the run from a gunman. Things get worse as more gunmen from Bangkok join the chase. Leaving Peter and Rose outnumbered, the two do their best to fight back and escape. Eventually, they manage to get into an Uber, which takes them to where Peter had earlier parked his truck while tailing Ethan's dad. Once they reach Peter's hideout, Rose starts asking questions. She wants to understand what's going on, but Peter is more concerned about how Rose managed to find him. He needs to make sure his location hasn't been compromised. After hearing Rose's explanation, Peter feels relieved that his hideout is still safe. However, he has mixed emotions about Rose showing up. On one hand, he's happy to see her, but on the other, he worries about putting her in danger. Rose demands answers, and Peter gives her a brief overview of the situation. They agree to rest for the night and discuss things further in the morning. In another part of the story, we are introduced to Noor, who works at the Iranian embassy. The ambassador Abbas is concerned about the upcoming General Assembly and warns his staff to be on their best behavior. He also reminds them of the consequences of making any mistakes. During this scene, we see some subtle flirting between Noor and Jawad, the embassy's security head. Later, one of Noor's colleagues encourages her to consider dating Jawad because they seem to have good chemistry. Back at Peter's hideout, he wakes up to find Rose already working on tracking Ethan's dad, Warren, using a tool called Adverse. Rose has made some changes to the code but hasn't found a solid lead on Warren's location. Peter is impressed by Rose's skills and surprised she didn't start her own company. However, Rose is upset that Peter didn't contact her for 10 months. Peter apologizes and explains why he had to cut off communication. They also talk about Peter's experience as a night agent. He describes it as being an important but small part of a larger system. Their conversation is interrupted when they notice movement at Ethan's house. Ethan is on the move, and Peter and Rose quickly follow him. Although Peter initially doesn't want Rose to come along, she insists she'll be safer with him and can help. They follow Ethan to his school where he has a game, but they arrive too late. Warren convinces Ethan to leave with him and even attacks Ethan's stepdad. Peter and Rose talk to Ethan's mom to figure out where Warren might be headed. They learn that Warren could be going to a small airport in Long Island. Since Warren is a pilot, it's likely he plans to fly out with Ethan. Peter and Rose promise Ethan's mom that they will bring her son back safely. They also reveal that they are FBI agents. Meanwhile, Noor meets with a CIA officer to share some Iranian intelligence. Unfortunately, the information she provides is useless. The CIA agent tells Noor that she needs to bring valuable intel if she wants their help in defecting with her family. Feeling desperate, Noor reveals that Abbas has been secretly meeting with an American from the intelligence community. However, she doesn't have any proof. The CIA officer tells her she needs evidence if she wants their assistance. Determined to find proof, Noor starts snooping around Abbas's office. She is almost caught by Jawad but manages to talk her way out of the situation. During their conversation, Noor and Jawad discover they both come from the same hometown in Iran. Later, Jawad walks Noor home and she takes the opportunity to make a video call to her family back in Iran. Back to Ethan's story, Catherine arrives at Ethan's mom's house. She is surprised to learn that Peter and Rose were there and are also looking for Ethan. Meanwhile, Peter and Rose manage to catch up to Warren before he can leave with Ethan. Peter fights Warren while Rose takes Ethan to safety. Peter successfully arrests Warren, but Ethan feels betrayed when he learns Peter is an FBI agent. Peter tries to reassure Ethan and promises to protect Warren. He asks Rose to take Ethan back home while he takes Warren to a safe house. Before leaving, Rose makes Peter promise not to torture Warren or lose himself in seeking revenge. She also tells him she is returning to California. Peter advises her to take a different route home for her safety. They say their goodbyes, and Rose drops Ethan off at his house. In the meantime, Catherine gets a call from Deputy Director Mosley and Director Gedney. They inform her about an Iranian asset who might have classified information related to her case. Catherine follows Rose to Chinatown, where Rose is supposed to board a bus to Boston. At the safe house, Peter tries to get information from Warren without resorting to torture. He uses Warren's desire to explain himself to Ethan to his advantage. Warren eventually confesses that he sold information to a buyer named Arthur. However, Warren believes Arthur is just a middleman and doesn't know the real buyer. He also doesn't know about Night Action or have any accomplices. Warren reveals that the intel he sold was about an old program called Foxglove, which dealt with an experimental chemical weapon. Just as Warren is about to share more details, he is killed by a sniper. Peter quickly takes cover and grabs Warren's phone, which starts ringing repeatedly. The episode ends with Peter hiding from the sniper while Rose heads to the bus station.